Ready for the juiciest drama hitting Coronation Street next week? From February 17th to 21st, 2025, the cobbles are about to be rocked by jaw-dropping twists. What if I told you that ruthless Rob's daring escape from the hospital isn't the biggest shocker? Yep, there's more. Julie's long-awaited return stirs up old secrets, and Daisy's lies about the DNA test could unravel faster than you think. Stay tuned because you won't want to miss these 14 huge Coronation Street spoilers that will leave you speechless. Before we dive in, make sure to hit that subscribe button for all the latest Corrie spoilers, drama updates, and behind-the-scenes gossip. Let's jump right into next week's explosive episodes. 1. Bobby puts his trust in Rob's choice to go through with the kidney transplant to save Carla has clearly made an impact, especially on Bobby. It's like a switch has flipped for him, and now he's set on visiting his dad more often. But Carla's not entirely at ease with this. She's got that gut feeling, you know the one, where something just doesn't sit right. She's all for Bobby having a relationship with his dad, but she's wary too, giving him a heads up to tread carefully. And honestly, in a place like Corrie where secrets and surprises are around every corner, can you really blame her? 2. Mandy faces the music. Rob's really clutching at straws now, isn't he? Stuck in hospital, desperate to make a run for it, he calls Mandy, the one person he thinks he can rely on. But things are already falling apart for her too. She's been suspended, all because someone's rumbled their secret fling. It's a proper mess, but despite the risk, Mandy still heads back to the hospital. You can't help but wonder, is she doing this for him or for herself? Then, just when Carla thinks something's gone seriously wrong with Rob, Mandy pulls a fast one. She plays the concerned nurse at first, but as soon as Carla asks to speak to someone, Mandy flips the script completely. It's one of those moments where you're left thinking, hang on, where did that come from? Mandy's clearly not messing about, and whatever she's planning next, it's bound to cause a right stir on the cobbles. 3. Rob's escape plan goes horribly wrong. Rob's really pushed the boat out this time, hasn't he? Pinching a security guard's uniform after laying him out cold. It's a bold move, but that's Rob for you, always thinking one step ahead. Or at least trying to. Dragging Carla along for the ride just adds more chaos to the mix. You can feel the tension bubbling up because, let's be honest, nothing ever goes smoothly when Rob's involved. And with Lisa hot on his heels, you just know it's all going to come crashing down sooner rather than later. And then boom, Rob, lifeless at the bottom of a stairwell. It's one of those hold on a minute moments that leaves you scratching your head. Did someone catch up to him? Did he trip up in his own panic? Or is there more to this than meets the eye? Whatever's gone down, it's got that classic Corrie suspense written all over it, and you just know the fallout is going to have everyone talking. 4. Kit launches an investigation. It's another busy week at work for Kit as he launches an investigation into the incident with Rob. But is the escaped prisoner still alive? Kit's detective work leads to Lisa being brought in for questioning about what happened with Rob. 5th Julie returns with a secret. Todd convinces Billy to join him for a singles event at Debbie's hotel. Billy reluctantly goes along, but when 2 guys approach him and Todd, he gets cold feet and leaves. George gives Todd a hard time for pushing Billy too soon after Paul's death. Later, Todd spots that Julie is at the event too. Julie is keeping secrets from her family. Why is she back in Weatherfield after so many years away? 6. David struggles with more bad news. David's difficult start to the year continues and there seems to be no end in sight. Although we can't give the exact details away, David is hit with another piece of bad news from Nick. How will he cope? Later in the week, Andy offers David the chance to be part of yet another criminal job. 7. Max's fate is revealed. Max is in prison after being caught out over the fire. David and Shona visit the worried teenager, revealing that they've asked for him to be moved to a prison in Scotland amid fears that Harvey's heavies could get to him if he stays closer to home. 8. Abby gets a huge shock. Abby waits for news at the hospital as Kevin undergoes his operation. The pressure becomes too much for Abby amid her ongoing struggles with PTSD, so she rushes off. When Kevin wakes following his surgery, he's told that it was successful, but is dismayed to realize that Abby isn't there. Haunted by memories of Mason's death, Abby is drawn to a nearby gurney at the hospital. She pulls back the sheet and gets the shock of her life. 9. Sally worries about Kevin pushing himself too hard. Sally is really worried when she sees Kevin at the hospital, and he's determined to leave early. He insists that Abby needs him, and she can't help but feel uneasy about him making such a quick decision. Kevin seems to think that it's more important to be there for Abby, even though he's still recovering himself. Sally, on the other hand, knows he's pushing himself too hard. and she tries to talk some sense into him, but it's clear he's not backing down. Meanwhile, Abby is trying to make progress of her own, attending her first therapy session. It's a big moment for her, and she's both nervous and hopeful. When she walks in, she spots someone familiar, which is both comforting and a bit strange. But despite the awkwardness, she's determined to keep going. After the session, she heads home, feeling a bit better about things. She promises Kevin that she's ready to start focusing on her recovery and, most importantly, looking after him. It's a small but significant step in her journey, and she's hopeful that it'll lead to better days ahead for both of them. 10. Daniel and Kit demand answers. Daniel and Kit find themselves at the Rovers, both fuming with frustration as they try to get to the bottom of the situation. They're stuck in limbo, waiting for some sort of answer on who's actually the father of Daisy's unborn baby. The tension between them is palpable, and it's clear they're both feeling the weight of the uncertainty hanging over them. As much as they want to get things sorted, there's no clear path forward, and it's starting to wear on both of them. Meanwhile, Daisy is continuing to string them both along with her lies. She's telling them that she's still waiting for the DNA test results, but something about her story just doesn't add up. It's like she's keeping them in the dark on purpose, but for what reason? It's hard to say, but both Daniel and Kit are starting to lose patience, and it's becoming harder for Daisy to keep up the act. The longer this goes on, the more complicated everything becomes, and it's clear that the truth is going to come out sooner or later. 11. Bobby hides a secret. Ryan's getting fed up with Daisy and is really putting the pressure on her to pay back the money she owes. He's had enough of waiting and wants to see some action. He's not one to let things slide, especially when it comes to money, and Daisy knows she can't keep putting it off for much longer. The tension's building, and Ryan's not backing down until he gets what he's owed. But just as Ryan's focusing on getting Daisy to settle her debt, something else catches his attention. He overhears Bobby having a dodgy phone call, talking about picking up cash for someone. Ryan's instincts kick in, and he starts to get suspicious. Not one to let things go unchecked, he decides to follow Bobby into the factory, determined to find out exactly what's going on. Ryan's on a mission, and he's not about to let Bobby's secret slip away unnoticed. 12. Cassie's scams continue. Cassie buys 2 air fryers but hides one in the hallway. She shows the other one to Ken, trying to confuse him as she lies that he told her to buy it using his money. Later, Cassie uploads pictures of one of the air fryers on social media and marks it for sale, hoping to make even more cash from Ken. 13. Mick and Lou have an explosive row. Mick meets Gemma and Chesney for the first time when his wife Lou introduces them. Chesney, ever the good neighbor, offers to help Mick move some furniture into their new home on Maudsley Street. However, things take a turn when Mick confesses that he accidentally broke a vase that belonged to Lou's late grandmother. Lou is furious, and a massive argument erupts between the pair. Gemma, concerned about the fallout, asks Chesney to step in and try to smooth things over with Mick. But will Chesney be able to calm the storm and fix the tension between them? 14. Chesney grows wary over Mick. Mick approaches Chesney, saying he recognizes him from somewhere, but Chesney's completely clueless about what Mick's talking about. What Chesney doesn't know is that Mick is the same mysterious van man who's been making his life a bit of a nightmare lately. There's a strange tension in the air, but Chesney can't quite put his finger on it. Mick's casual mention of recognizing him is enough to get Chesney thinking, but the real connection hasn't hit him yet. Meanwhile, things aren't getting any easier with the new neighbors. George, already on edge, gets really fed up with the constant loud music coming from Mick's house. He's had enough and decides to confront him about it. Mick acts all calm and promises to turn the volume down, but there's something about his reaction that doesn't sit right with Chesney. It's almost as if Mick's not really bothered or even genuinely sorry. The whole situation leaves Chesney feeling uneasy, and he can't shake the feeling that there's more to Mick than meets the eye. If you've enjoyed this deep dive into next week's massive spoilers for Coronation Street, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss out on the latest drama, gossip, and behind-the-scenes updates. With all these juicy twists coming up, you're going to want to stay in the loop. Drop a comment below with your thoughts on the upcoming drama. What do you think will happen next? And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Keep watching for more spoilers, and stay tuned for all the action next week.